Tecno has always been a household name when it comes to mobile devices, right from physical button era to now. The way I see it, their Camon series is how they exhibit their game with photography, like Camon translating as camera on, or whatever the acronym is. But yeah, we have the Camon 50 Pro, the center of the lineup comprising of the Camon 50, the Camon 50 Pro and the Camon 50 Ultra. And logically, we shouldn't be getting the worst or the best of the best since this just sits in the middle of their offering. As someone who hasn't really been into techno for a long time, this was one of the curious parts I needed to find out because according to social media, it's a very hyped series. I wanted to see how well this does in photo taking. On the rear, you get actual triple lenses. Forget the last one in the row, the dummy lens is just there for aesthetics or probably to achieve that Samsung camera factor, which is pretty much common for most phones now, like having that one extra dummy lens. It's a 50 megapixel main wide angle, a 50 megapixel telephoto and an 8 megapixel ultra wide. And on the front there's a 32 megapixel sensor slotted into that punch hole. The selfie cam is not the best of the best. When you capture with portrait mode, there is this heavily processed beauty filter it forces on the photos, which just doesn't look like something I would want to post for my crush to see. Alternatively, on the wide mode you do not get the beauty filter, but it could use better detail and handling of exposure. For the telephoto, it's all glorious, at least on the outside specs, with a 3x optical range, insane zoom and all that cool telephoto stuff. I believe one of the reasons for a telephoto is magnifying smaller scenes, meaning if I have a telephoto lens, I'd be tempted to go full macro mode and just slide that wheel to 3x and more when I find cool stuff. But the Camon 50 Pro doesn't allow that, which makes a bad first impression for its telephoto camera. The moment you hit the 3x stop on the focal range, automatically smaller subjects are shifted out of focus, and no matter how much pinching you do, it still doesn't solve that. I was hoping Tecno themselves would have noticed this and pushed an update, but there is nothing yet that addresses this. So to capture smaller subjects, I've been having to cope by not going anything above 2.7 to 2.8x. But of course, for larger scenarios, it snaps. The results are pretty good on both the wide-angle lens and the telephoto. The dynamic range is not the best of the best, but it can be appealing for some scenarios. The camera has a habit of forcing HDR on photos, even when it's obviously disabled in these settings. The result is making shots typically darker and sharper than they appear in real life, which looks cool sometimes because there is that contrasty feel. But in the moment when you want your shots to feel softer, it does the opposite job. In highly sunny conditions, the result can also be overly exposed photographs. The ultra-wide looks like it holds up its own for an 8 megapixel quality. The details in the background are seen and that appears good enough given the underwhelming spec. Also, like most phones, since 8 megapixel is like the budget mid-range standard. About watermarks, I'm really surprised they missed something like this. You can't add a watermark on a photo you already shot with a phone that wasn't initially present at the time of the shoot. This is something I've gotten used to on other phones, and trust me, it's a no-brainer because there are times when you need the watermarks and times you don't. I can't really believe they missed something like this. One extra thing, it would be helpful if Tecno pushes an update that reduces the lag between processing photos after you take them. It's just not nice having to wait like that between shots. Beyond the mixed feelings of taking both good and bad photos with this phone, there is something that almost presents itself as a remedy. That is, if you're not against artificial intelligence getting involved with your stuffs. Inside the built-in AI Gallery app are a literal ton of AI features that could elevate your editing experience when it comes to photos. My first impression about the Tecno Camon 50 Pro is that it's a literal AI phone, from setting it up to everything else inside the phone. Now, you can explore this yourself. The app is intuitive for anyone to understand. By pressing the person icon at the bottom of any photo, you would have access to the AI Studio, which gives you access to its raw features in a horizontal format. All you have to do is scroll and explore what you feel suits your photo. For example, I think too many grid lines kind of ruin the vibe here. So what I'll do is use the AI eraser tool. By just highlighting the top ones, I can carefully erase all of them and have a less busy photo. Or maybe in photos that require switching the shadows. Pretty useful in these scenarios. Something you'd also find is the AI Art Gallery, which just samples a collection of iconic art styles that you can replicate your photo after. Like maybe you want to play around with the anime style, the iconic Picasso, any of that, but instead of going to ChatGPT, you have everything present. Now, for the part of the phone you see first before anything, the body. Beautiful, right? My variant comes in what they call moon shadow black. A lot of people are just rather obsessed with it trying to look more like a Samsung than a Tecno, but I'm not bothered. I like the twist they've added here, this curve on the left side that just flows down from the camera angle. The case that comes with the phone mimics the exact same thing, except it looks even better and more stylish when you take a look at the typography thing done here, which turns out to be randomized Camon letters. If for anything, it is better than the boring plain design of the actual phone. Also, it's textured, which makes it pretty soothing to rub and holds more grip. The main foam body is super slippery, reflective, made of plastic, and is the final boss of fingerprint magnets. The few times I've held this naked, I have to quickly purify the stains with a cloth. So hold on to this case with your dear life. The display is AMOLED as expected, 1.5K resolution measured at 6.78 inches, running on the max 144Hz refresh rate. 6.78 isn't exactly small, so if you're a big phone lover, this is your go-to. But if you're with really small hands that prioritize comfort when operating, this isn't exactly the recommendation when it comes to comfort. The display edge takes on a slightly curved profile, which expectedly is appealing for most people. It does the job of appearing more premium than it is. And that leads me to my problem. Over time of using the device, I've noticed it has a fondness for interpreting image colors differently. That is on its own AI gallery app. It started with me taking photos and running edits on them. After exporting from Lightroom, it automatically changes the color profile and almost isolates the yellows and reds. Compared with other phones, it's obviously the odd one. I've interacted with the display settings, and aside from having everything on default, there are no filters and weird color modes turned on. This can pretty much be misleading for editing as a whole. For entertainment, I think it shines better here since I've been catching up on some FIFA content on YouTube. The color rendition for social media doesn't look displaced in my observation. The phone runs on Tecno's latest iOS 16 on top of Android 16 out of the package, and it brings decent offerings. This is finally my most recent Tecno phone after a long while, and I literally got dropped into the experience, which made everything feel overwhelming at the start, particularly on the AI side, since Tecno has essentially branded this phone as an AI phone due to the visible AI features and the Easter eggs. Toggle to Tecno AI inside the settings to meet a central list of major AI features you can use. Ella is basically Tecno's own native AI assistant, which is in charge of everything AI in the phone. But you can also switch between other popular models, which I don't think would work as well as Ella being the native model. Ella has its own app which you can skim through all you can do, from asking questions the way you do to ChatGPT to going live and scheduling actions around the phone. There are also AI writing and drawing features which you can put to use within the Notes app. There's just so much to explore. Also, you get Circle to Search, a feature that has become my most used on every smartphone. It just allows you the convenience of researching items on the go instead of searching from scratch. Simply pulling the left side of the phone at the home screen allows you access to even more AI features. You can spot the dim generator for AI wallpapers, then there is video generation and many others. There's just so much going on here. But let's narrow our attention to the Mind Hub and Flash Memo. These two work hand in hand. At the left side window of the phone, Tecno has this dedicated button called One Tap Flash Memo. In simple terms, what it does is recognize your screen with a single press and grabs the information presently displayed in the form of a screenshot to analyze on the Mind Hub. Whether it's getting info from a blog or creating an event from a calendar indication, you can find the summary and screenshots inside the Mind Hub, which is the storage unit for everything the Flash Memo registers, kind of similar to the Essential Space on Nothing phones. For the overall software experience, nothing to complain about from my own experience. Though it does both the liquid glass and dynamic island, it still feels well integrated and like it belongs completely on the device, especially the dynamic island, which they've rebranded as dynamic ports. I've been enjoying my use cases around it and it's fun. The widgets here were also a well thought addition. Navigation around the Camon 50 Pro feels smooth, and so far it has proven to be a non-laggy OS. In charge of the hardware operations is the MediaTek Helio G200 Ultimate. It is not bad and not the best at the same time, especially for the price. I've gotten so familiar with the Dimensity series that it feels odd going back to Helio, especially in 2026. For the major aspect most young people care about, gaming. Yeah, I did do a complete test on that, and based on the results, you can manage most modern shooter games like Call of Duty Mobile at the average and lowest graphic rates, but try as much as possible to avoid graphically intensive and ported titles like the new Red Dead Redemption and Wuthering Waves, because they both embarrass this phone. For those quick subway surfer sessions or getting into some hot asphalt night racing with friends in between the day, it definitely fits for the job. The speaker does try to keep up in all of this. In here is a 6150 mAh battery with up to 45 watts fast charging. Over the past weeks, I did put it through paces that basically define my typical daily use cases. I recorded my recent activity after charging it to 100%, and with a mixture of social media, video watching, minimal gaming and some random app functions, I ended up with over 7 hours of screen time before the battery finally gave away, and that period lasted for a day and some hours. That is as typical use cases can go. So if you're the type of person with a similar screen on time, you should know you have a idea of juice with this phone. Not the best for a 6000 mAh, but it's something. The 45 watt charging capacity will also have you waiting for an hour or more to get full. Well, that's just part of the compromises you'll learn to live with. My take for the Tecno Camon 50 Pro is that it's a pretty decent low-level phone. I mean, buy it if the price tag is not an issue. I've mostly seen Nigerians complain about it more because the price here could feature a higher alternative. But from the look of things, phone prices are only going to get higher thanks to whatever is happening. Final note is, for a good day-to-day phone, real-life casual photography and one of the most AI-centric devices around currently, this is what you purchase for any of those purposes. See you on the next one.